Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel, Holy Hair. In this video, I'm going to be taking my client here who has virgin hair to dimensional, sun-kissed, and beautiful in one session with a minimal amount of foils. So let's get right into the tutorial.
Let's hair, let's go. Holy hair, let's go.
So as you can see, this is my client's before, and she has virgin hair. She has never colored her hair before. This is a first time for her. So she's a young client. She's just 12 years old. So obviously she's not going to want a lot of upkeep. You know, clients like this usually come in maybe once a year. So we want to create a very lived in, natural look that can grow out really well. So I'm starting at her face frame and I'm just going in with some baby fine highlights. This whole entire highlight that I'm doing on her is going to be Babylights. And I'm weaving everything. We want to create a really natural look, like if the sun were to lighten up her hair naturally. I'm starting with her hairline, and I'm going about 5 foils deep into her hair line here. So I'm starting with the top, and then I'm going into the side, and I'm taking very, very baby fine weaves as I foil her. And I'm using my Framar foiling board. I feel like this helps with saturation. It gives you a nice surface to paint on, and it just it really helps with foiling, especially around the hairline. I just feel like it gives a really nice sturdy platform to paint on. And talking about saturation, it does make a huge difference when you are fully saturating each section and taking baby fine sections. It just lifts so much more evenly, and it lifts to a much prettier tone, especially on virgin hair. Obviously, if you're lifting through previously colored hair, you're going to get a different tone than if you were doing virgin hair. But here we're working with virgin hair, and like I said before, she's not going to be coming in very often to get her hair done. So even though we are going to tone her today, we still want that tone to look really pretty when it fades out. So we're just wanting to make sure that everything is going to be lifting really well to a really pretty tone, so that when it fades out, she's going to not have to like rush in to get her hair done. She can just live it in and wear it naturally as it fades. So I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side of her hairline. I'm just taking baby fine highlights, fully saturating each section, and I am leaving a little bit of hair in between the foils, so I'm not doing back-to-back foils. There's definitely some hair in between. And so what I'm doing with this whole section here is, after I finish each section, which I'm taking 3 sections for this process, one side, the other side, and then the top section, and I'll show you the top in a minute. So in each of the 3 sections, I am going to be tipping out and coloring all of the ends. So as you can see here, I've gathered up all of the hair that was left out of the foils, and I am teasing back the entire section of her ends, and then I am just feathering it up into a foil. So coming on to the top section here, I'm just going to be starting at her part. So she parts her hair down the middle, and I'm just going to be doing a couple horizontal sections right on her part. So I'm weaving again, and I'm just doing pretty fine, baby fine weaves that you can see through, and I'm fully saturating from root to end. And then I'm only going to be doing about 4 or 5 foils in this section here, just a couple, just to give us almost like a veil of highlights on the top that is going to look really, really pretty. So after I finish the section here, I'm going to be tipping out her ends, and I am leaving hair in between each foil as well. So the hair that's being left out in between each foil, that's what's going to be tipped out and back combed and lightened on the ends. So this is going to create a really natural softness when you're highlighting virgin hair, because she's obviously never had highlights before, so we don't want the highlights to look super streaky. So as you can see, I have those 3 sections here, one on the right side, the left side, and then the top, and then 3 tipped out ends. And this is going to create maximum lightness and maximum definition and dimension with a minimal amount of foils. So as I'm pulling her foils, I'm just kind of blurring those ends a little bit more, and as you can see how beautiful that raw lift is. She lifted to a really, really pretty caramel blonde. And I'm just going to blur out each tipped out ends as I take out the other foils. I'm not going to let this sit out long. This is just going to sit on just while I take out the other foils, and it just creates a little bit more of a blurred effect at the shampoo bowl. So after I have rinsed her, but before I tone, I like to really wring out any excess moisture from the hair, and I towel dry it as well before I apply my toner. And I always apply the toner at the bowl, unless I'm doing like a root shadow, then I will do it at the chair. But I like to get as much moisture as I can out as I towel dry before I put the toner on. So for her toner, I'm going to be mixing Redken Shades EQ 8N and 7G equal parts, and I'm going to be applying this all over her hair from root to end, making sure it is completely fully saturated and fully coated. And we're going to let this process for 20 minutes with a cap. So she's processed for 20 minutes with a cap on, and this is the color after she's been processed, and you can see it's like such a beautiful caramel blonde, and it's gonna blend really, really well with her dark hair. I love to just like check out the dimension, check out the color before I rinse, just to make sure that it looks the way that I want it to before I rinse. Getting her all trimmed up and blow dried, you can see it just looks so pretty, and I'm going to show you guys a close-up in a minute. But while you're blow drying your client's hair, like, this is the perfect time just to like talk them up, give them compliments, make them feel good about their hair. She wasn't sure about this color at first because it was her first time coloring her hair, and she's young, so she didn't know how it was going to turn out, and her face says it all. She loves it, and she was super happy with it. So this was her before, if you guys remember, just no dimension, really dark, and then here is her after. Dimensional, sun-kissed, and beautiful. And I love how that top section of foils that I did right at her part acts like a veil over the rest of her hair, creating so much dimension, and it even like falls out to the back too, just like that. It's so pretty. So I love this foiling technique for minimal foils with maximum dimension. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more content like this, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Let's go, let's lead, let's hit, let's go. Holy hit, let's go, let's go, let's go.